Hello, I'm from Team 13 and I am Ramona, a musician and artist from Romania. Un muzician și un artist din România, which speaks with special characters and in Romanian. And I sing in Romanian. So my market is quite narrow. That's why I need to expand it throughout musical communities that speak Romanian language and sing and listen to Romanian music. But at some point, my social media reach is too narrow for that. So I get to my limits very fast. That's why me and my colleagues thought about music featuring, the future of music featuring for indie artists from emergent markets because we have very creative minds, and when you think about a collaboration, to collab or not to collab, you think, well, I'm creative enough. Yes, but your market reach is too narrow, and it will be. You have your own limits. When you collaborate with a different artist that shares the same community as you do, or as a potential community, then you get the chance to grow. But this opportunity of growth is not all sunshine because independent artists from emerging markets cannot find proper collaboration easily. Most of these collaboration in indie terms end up poorly because the terms are not discussed, because you do not have the same level of career when you try to do a collaboration. So it's very difficult to find someone that could really help your career and someone that could benefit from your career also. So it has to be mutual. So that's why our solution is like a dating app based on a scoring tool that identifies high leverage collaboration partners by measuring complementary markets. And these criterias help me as an artist to make useful collaborations that could make my music exposed to different communities to that share the same passion for listening to music in our own native languages. Okay, we speak lots of languages. I speak English, but I must admit that my sincere artistic persona is still in Romanian, and I'm not the only artist that thinks like that. I'll let my colleague Nirukti to talk to you about the methodology and the numbers. I'm the artist. Thank you.
Nido, you're muted. You need to unmute yourself.
I'm sorry. Can you hear me now? So before we started building music featuring, we really started with this one main question, which was, if two artists were to collaborate, does it introduce them to listeners in a country where they have a weaker presence, and how does that look like visually? So we started off with like smaller data set, which we clustered by artists and artists by a shared language and genre, in this case Tamil rap. Because there are many similar language communities like that which are spread across multiple countries, and the three metrics that we looked at were top audience by countries, the career stage those artists were at, and the chat metric rank. And then we gave them a score based on that. Next slide, please. So this is a prototype that we built. For purposes for this demo, we focused on Tamil rap, like I mentioned. And the artist that we've used to anchor this is Young Raja as a case study, because his audience clearly reflects cross-border dynamics. While we understand that he's not an independent artist, this is just a proof of concept to demonstrate how the model works. Young Raja's main markets are India and Malaysia. And based on the scores, the top three artists that you see are the top potential collaborators for Young Raja based on the scores are these three. And I will explain why these three surfaced in the next slide. So the three artists that surfaced were Madas Cartel, which are a Canadian-based rapper duo. What it does is like it unlocks a new audience geography for Young Raja, which is like an independent Western circuit in North America. Kevin Smokyo, he expands his reach beyond, like once again, like a heavy North American audience. So he can introduce, if the collaboration works out, he can introduce Young Raja to a North American audience. And last but not the least, MC side, they both are at the same level of their career trajectory, which is like they're both mainstream artists. They can actually collaborate and solidify their existing audience on ground while not introducing anyone new. But based on what the scores are, I think Madras Cartel and Kevin Smokio would be like the best two options. Why is this important? I think now more than ever, I think there is a call for language diversity. It That is why building this tool would be important and impactful. Next slide, please. For future, what we plan to do is we while we were working on the data set, we already found
I'm
out that
so sorry to interrupt. That's your time.
okay.
I'm going to bring our judges back to the stage so that they can ask a couple of questions.
Yeah.
David, do you have any question? Maybe we'll start there.
Yeah, one question I actually had was there consideration on removing the language restriction? I mean, would you see similar results in creating multilingual records, or was that not something that you wanted to tackle within the scope of this?
We've specifically wanted to tackle language specific ones, especially in markets that are quite linguistically complex. So that is why Tamil was one of them. We actually wanted to explore more languages as well, but Rome wasn't built in a day, and so we did the best that we could like with what we had. So yeah, so that I hope that answers your question. So ideal would be like we would love to expand it to other languages as well. We've seen a lot of similarities between Bhojpuri, which is another language that is spoken in India, but also has something called chutney music from the Caribbean, which also has similarities in terms of language also. So it sort of expands to a seamless collaboration, but also exposing them to different languages that have similarities as well. So same with Russian, same with say maybe Swahili or other artists, like other languages as well, and opening it up to more genres as well.
Any other questions?
I
Daria,
have a
maybe?
question, if I may. Out of curiosity, given in the future artists get access to your solution, would you expect the score to guide their decisions and provide any recommendations for collaboration in terms of market or language, or the other way around? Would that be the artist who would specify, oh, I'm interested in collaboration in that particular market with that particular language? How would you envision that moving forward?
Can you clarify the question, please? I'm not quite sure I follow.
Well, I just wonder what would be the next step for the project. So other artists might have access to it at some point. Is that correct?
Our target audience was kept in mind, keeping independent artists who don't have access to ANRs. So this would be a tool that is specifically built for them, that they can sort of put in their language specific and the genres that they have. They can put in their feeds, and so it will sort of give them a list of like other artists similar to them in terms of genre and languages, and potentially open up doors in terms of like how they can be exposed to their audience and vice versa. So that's the
Understood.
goal.
Understood. So artists will decide the
Artists
markets
will
that are
decide. Yeah.
relevant.
So this was really born out of like giving the power back to the artists and putting it back in their hands, because it's quite fragmented, the data. Language more so. We know how genres work. They are quite messy, to say the least. There's no, but languages, I think there is still hope, because it is an identity marker, and that is why we led with language first.
Makes sense. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you so much, Team 13.
Yeah.
That's going to conclude your presentation and the questions. We're going to move on to Team 4, who's going to present on Sync Fit. So give us 2 minutes.